The reason that there are so many more women earning their way into the high net worth and ultra high net worth brackets is these boomer women are game changers. This is something that those of us, I think many of us here are in the boomer generation, we don't even realize it because we're living it every day. But the boomer women are radically, radically different from any generation of women in history. There has never before been a generation where women have gone to college in approximately equal numbers. The boomer generation went in approximately equal numbers as their brothers. Now, I'm sure you know, that women are by far the more preeminent audience on college campuses. Women earn about 60% of bachelor's degrees. They earn the majority of master's degrees. They earn the majority of PhDs. They are out there getting some education and some income. And I know why. Because that's what I did. When I was young, it was the 60s and 70s. And it was the era of when the divorce rate kind of soared. Women's liberation. Women felt they had other options. And my parents got divorced. And as is still the case, my mom, who took the three of us kids, had a substantial financial hit. She was hit really hard. Consequently, so were we, I guess. But really, it was she I was looking at. Because I said to myself at that point, I want to be able to support myself. I don't want to be dependent on somebody else to live the lifestyle that I want to live. And I can't tell you how many of my cohort, my women friends, went and got advanced degrees for exactly the same reason. So the first to go to college in approximately the same number, then went into the workforce. And you probably remember all the brouhaha there was in the 70s. Oh my word, women are taking all men's jobs. Oh, this is terrible. They shouldn't be allowed. Keep them in the secretarial positions. What the heck, you know? I'm telling you, those same households were very glad to have women in those jobs in the 70s and 80s because men, as in this Great Recession, men have always been hit harder by recessions than women are because of the types of occupations they choose for themselves that are very different. And so when men of the households were losing their jobs, the women were paying the bills. So they went into the workforce a lot in the 70s and 80s. And then what happened is that in the 90s, they started moving into new occupations. Now, when we're looking at education, one of the things that I want to share, because I know you're probably, what is it that W. Edward Deming says? In God we trust, all others bring data. I have a feeling that's the kind of group I'm talking to here. So I'm looking at the data, and the thing to emphasize is that you can see it's like a hockey stick change between World War II women and boomer women. So World War II women, well, about 14% of them were college graduates. When you get to boomer women, you find that almost twice as many boomer women graduated from college as World War II women. That's a big, huge change in a demographic sense. Working outside the home, too, by the time you get to the trailing edge of the baby boomers, 72% of women are in the workforce, which is pretty close to the 85% of men that are usually in the workforce. So they have their own money. And now they are getting out of graduate school and they're going into occupations which weren't open for women before. They're going, it's doctors and lawyers and business owners. They're starting businesses and they're being very successful at it.